Good morning and welcome from the African Utility Week studio here in Cape Town. With me this morning I have Mike Ballard. Now Mike is the Senior Director Industry Strategy for the EMEA region for Oracle Utilities. Mike, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We were talking a little bit earlier about some of the experience that you've had working in and around Africa, and I was wondering if you could tell me what are the trends that you're seeing within the markets at the moment for utilities?
Well, a number of trends actually happening all at the same time. One of the key trends is a real strong need to get more out of the assets that are in the grid and to optimise those assets. We're seeing the extension of life of generation plant being a key factor as part of building that capacity of generation in the region. We're seeing an increasing demand for electrification and accessibility to energy, and looking at many different ways of achieving that, either through extending the existing transmission and distribution infrastructure, or through providing some localised generation capability for certain regions. On the workforce side, we're seeing trends in ageing workforce. We're having challenges around the ability for utilities to retain skills in the traditional industries of electrical engineering, mechanical engineering. On the customer side, we're seeing customers becoming more digitally enabled, having greater demands on utilities, expecting utilities to respond to them in the ways that banks and telco companies engage with their customers. So we're seeing a number of trends in customer, in mobile workforce, in skills, and in the asset side as well.
So one of the things that I found particularly interesting in the conversations we've had over the course of the last couple of days is that as Oracle, you believe very strongly in building partnerships with local companies.
Yeah.
Could you give me some, or give our audience some idea of the work that you've been doing in Ethiopia?
Yeah, we've been partnering with a smart meter manufacturing company called Deventus, based in Addis Ababa. They're working with the Ethiopian electricity utility to roll out a smart meter pilot in the Addis Ababa region. And our role is to make sense of the data that comes from those smart meters. Okay. So the smart meters are part of an electrification program for Ethiopia that will eventually extend out to 2 million meter points. And our role is to collect that smart meter information and get value out of it. Because one of the most important challenges that utilities have when they embark on some of the newer technologies is actually getting the return on that investment that they were hoping to get. We see a number of utilities embark on projects, and then those projects don't have the impact that the utility was hoping for. So one of our roles is to help those utilities extract the most value from those smart meters when they get rolled out.
What have you found have the benefits been of working with a local partner for a local project?
A number of benefits. I mean, one of the most significant benefits is that and it's the same globally, is that every country has a different demographic. They have a different geography. They have different politics. They have different economy. They have different environmental factors that change both the outcomes that utilities need for their technology investments, but also the ability to actually launch those projects and make those projects successful can have very different challenges. So working with local partners allows you to really deeply understand the local environment in which those projects are being launched, the culture in which and how you engage with the customer population, but also the utility workforce as well. And of course they also it's very important in regions that are rapidly developing, because of these skill challenges, that you're using and nurturing skills in the country so that the country is able to build a capability in those disciplines of smart metering or electrical engineering, rather than relying heavily on large amounts of external support. They need to become self-sufficient.
And what are you able to bring to the table in terms of best practice for your local partners and the utilities that you're working for?
Yeah, so Oracle's a global company, so we have utility customers from generation all the way through to customer systems in countries all around the world of all different types of markets, whether they're nationalised, whether they're privatised but still vertically integrated, or whether these are unbundled utilities. Regardless of the nature of those markets, Oracle has been working with utilities, water, gas, electric, heating, cooling, in all of those areas around billing, metering, workforce. So we've gained a lot of experience. Personally, I'm ex-utility. I worked in the utility sector for 20 years myself, and so we bring that expertise to our customers, and we think it's very important that utilities are able to accelerate the adoption of technologies by leveraging the expertise from global partners, but ensuring, as I mentioned before, that you then embed those skills locally within that country.
And from the experience that you've had since obviously from your utility days, but also from working with Oracle, what do you think the priority areas are that utilities, particularly in Africa, should be focusing on at the moment?
So I think if you took those three themes of assets, workforce and customer, on the asset side, we believe there's a great opportunity for utilities to be able to become more proactive in their maintenance of assets, to use data, to use analytics to inform them as to which assets they should be focusing their investment and their maintenance on, rather than approaching it in a kind of cyclical type of way, which becomes, which isn't providing the biggest bang for your buck.
Yeah.
It often can lead to missing key issues with your assets, which can lead to outages or to safety issues. So we see that as being a key focus area, is starting to use the data that's coming, that's available to utilities now, but also the higher volumes of data that are going to be available as technologies roll out smart metering, roll out more granular information on assets. So a more predictive approach to maintenance will also help not only the assets themselves, but will help the workforce become more productive. They'll get a larger success from the same number of workforce.
Okay.
On the customer side, I think that the key focus area is improving the revenue management side. So there's a great opportunity as you start to increase metering, smart or otherwise. You are able to start increasing the accuracy of the bills you're sending to customers. You're able to help provide customers with many different ways of being able to both manage their payments of that, but also manage their consumption. So if customers wish to reduce their energy bills, the utility is able to inform them about, based on their usage profile, how can that customer change their usage to perhaps reduce their energy bill. It also helps target customers around things like self-generation. So if you was the lady from Cape Town, Mayor of Cape Town last night was talking about increasing the amount of self-generation in the market to help customers both reduce their energy bill, but also help feed some energy back into the network. That localized generation is can be achieved if you're able to target the right type of customers who have the right economic position, who have the right usage profiles. So a lot of opportunities there to help push the customer side of retail. And finally, in the workforce piece, the skilling of what we're finding is the universities globally are pushing out a lot more data and IT skills. That's a very popular area. Less so, reducing so perhaps in the engineering side. But that's not a risk actually, because what we're seeing is a much larger adoption of technology by utilities to solve their problems. So actually, nurturing the IT and technology skills in universities to help utilities perform in the future is going to be a key focus area.
So it sounds like there's quite a lot of opportunity and certainly a lot of, I guess, interesting times ahead technologically for utilities. I think it's going to be quite interesting to see how Africa is able to adapt. I guess there's big opportunities for utilities to take enormous leaps and bounds as far as technology is concerned. Absolutely.
I think the necessity breeds. I've forgotten the line now. I've got the line.
Necessity is the mother of all invention, isn't it?
Thank you very much.
Similar to that.
That's exactly what I was trying to say. Thank you. And I think Africa is skilled probably like no other region in the world to find new ways of solving their particular challenges.
Yeah. I was very interested to see in the presentation that you did with Deventus that one of the things you were particularly trying to highlight was around African solutions for African utilities.
Yeah.
And I think that is, it's good to obviously address challenges that are specific to each utility or each region's unique situation.
Yeah. Every utility around the world, even within a country, is different. My experience is that even in the UK, where I come from, the utilities in the UK all different. They all have different goals, different visions, different ways of working, and so every utility actually is quite different. And so you cannot come to a utility with the same, with the same set of solutions. You need to have flexible solutions. Utilities are learning as they're evolving, and so they need agile solutions that can flex and move with that utility, for sure.
Okay, great. Mike, thank you for the time. Unfortunately, we're out of time for this morning. That was Mike Ballard from Oracle Utilities. Thank you for listening. I'm Claire Falkvane, signing out from African Utility Week.